Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Modules. Okay, this is lesson 2-2, chapter 2.2, Reconcile a Bank Statement. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just brought in the first page of the chapter. There's several vocabulary words and they're all in this page. So pause the video, read this, and then unpause the video and we'll continue with the lesson. Okay, so here's example 1. It says below is a bank statement and check register for Michael Biok's checking account. What steps are needed to reconcile Michael's bank statement? So if you read that prior page, you know what it means to reconcile. So here we go. So this is a bank statement right here. Actually, this is his check register. This is the bank statement down here. So it gives a starting balance. So let me just label some things here. They told us the starting balance and they're giving us the ending balance in this statement period from November 1st to November 30th. So this is the November statement. Okay, so in his check register, the check marks here mean that these have already cleared and were on a prior checking account statement. So these were written in October. So these were obviously on the October statement, if there's a check mark. The ones that are not checked still have not cleared. And if you write a personal check to somebody, for example, this check number 1763 on the 13th to the country club has not cleared yet. Okay, there could be multiple reasons why that has happened, but the country club just doesn't seem to have gone to the bank with that check and deposited it in their account, so it has not what's called cleared. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to start out with the deposits here. We're going to just check everything that's in the statement to what we have here. And as you can see, we don't have the same ending balances because some things have cleared and some things have not. So on November 5th, there was a deposit of $35. So November 5th is right here. And here's the deposit of $35. So that is going to, I'll check that as being cleared, if you will, or checked in our register. We have reconciled that. Okay, so then on the 11th, there's a deposit of $100. So on November 11th, which is right here, there's a deposit of $100. So now that has checked. So I'll check that here. And on November 13th, check number 1770. So I look for 1770. It's right there. Notice the date's different. Okay. Michael wrote the check on October 22nd to Michael's home center. It didn't clear until November 13th. So the 22nd to the 13th is how long it took for that to clear. But it now finally has cleared and it's number 1770. And you always want to check the amounts because there could have been an error. $158.08, $158.08. So I'll check that. I won't circle it here. I will put a check mark showing that it is cleared in my register. Okay, and then finally we have a withdrawal on November 17th, check number 1168. Here is 1168. Check the amount. It's $46.50. Here's $46.50. I'm going to check it has cleared. November 19th, 1169 is right here. And the amount is 7464. 7464 matches. I will check it. Okay. And then finally on November 27th, there's a check for number 1768 for $19.50. 1765, which is up here for $19.50. It matches, so I will check it. Okay, so that's everything on the statement. So then what I need to do is determine what hasn't cleared yet. And I'm going to make a table, and you could do checks on one side and deposits on the other. So we're going to add the deposits and subtract the checks. So right here is a $50 check that was written way back on October 13th that has not cleared. So there's $50. That's checked, that's checked, that's checked, that's checked. Here is a check, all right, for $18 that has not cleared. I will put that over here. Okay, that is cleared, that's cleared, that's cleared. Now we have a check for $29.10. So I'll put that here. And this has cleared, and here is a $15 check that has not cleared. And then finally at the bottom, there's a $125 deposit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this column up here, find the total amount in checks written, and 17 and 5 is 22, carry the 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I came up with $112.10 in checks and $125 in deposits. The deposit is more than the check, so I'm going to subtract the check amount from the deposit amount, and that's how much more I've put into the account than what I've withdrawn by writing checks. So I'm going to make that a 4, 9, actually a 10. I don't need that. So 10 minus 1 is 9, 2, 1. Okay, so there's $12.90 that is written in my check register or in Michael's check register that is not on the statement. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take that statement ending balance of $628.23 and see that if I add 12 or subtract $12.90 from it, or add $12.90, I mean, because that's how much I've deposited more than written. If I add $12.90 to the statement balance, then my balance should match. Okay, so not 3 plus 0, 9 plus 2 is 11, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus that one's 11, 2 plus 1 is 4, and bring down the 6. So I ended up with $641.13 after accounting for the checks that have not cleared and the deposit that did not show on this statement. And that matches my check register. So this statement is now reconciled. Okay, now the check your understanding says, name some reasons why a check may not have cleared during the monthly cycle and appeared on the bank statement. So pause the video, see if you can come up with some reasons why you think a check may not have cleared and been on the statement. Okay, so assuming you have done so, here's one. If you mailed the check out, it could have gotten lost in the mail. No offense to the USPS. You may have written a check to a company and they just haven't gone to make the deposit. So the person who got the check hasn't deposited your check. Okay. You may have forgot to sign your check. If you don't sign your check, then it won't clear. And in that situation, the person who you gave the check to would have to get a hold of you, or you should get a hold of them to tell them that you wrote a check that you didn't sign and you need to sign it. So there's several other reasons, but those are just a few right there. So you may have had different reasons. It could be right as well. Just because I didn't say them does not mean that there is not other reasons. Okay, example 2 says to use algebraic formulas and statements to model the check register balance process. So what do we have in a check register? We have an opening balance, we have a closing balance or an ending balance, we have a statement balance and a check register balance. So there's two things that we have to compare. We have outstanding checks, we have outstanding deposits, and we have checks that have cleared, and we have deposits that show on the statement. So there's a bunch of stuff that we need to account for when we're coming up with this algebraic formula. So represent each line in the account summary with a variable. So if we assigned the letter A to the statement ending balance, okay, A is the amount at the end of the statement, and then we could call B total deposits that are outstanding, and C could be total withdrawals outstanding. So talk about the two outstanding items. And then the revised statement balance is D, And then the check register balance will be R. Okay, so when we do that, the revised statement balance, which is D, equals the statement balance A, the ending balance, plus the total outstanding deposits B, and then minus the total withdrawals outstanding C. So that would be D equals A plus B minus C. All right, and then if the revised statement balance D equals the check register balance R, then the statement is reconciled. And then we could add that to our equation here. And if D equals R, well, then D equals R. So we could also have R equals D, which equals A plus B minus C. And that's our goal, is to get R to equal D. Okay, so now check your understanding. Nancy has a balance of $1,078. Okay, balance of $1,078 in her check register. The balance of her bank account statement is $885.84. So there's a discrepancy there. Not reported on her bank statement are the deposits of $575 and a $250 deposit, and 2 checks for $195 and $437.84. Does her checking account balance? Explain. Okay, so now let's just check to see how you did. Hopefully you did this on your own. Statement ending balance. Nancy has a balance of, in her check register, statement ending balance is right here. That is our A. Okay. Check register balance is R. This is R. Total withdrawals outstanding are C. Okay, that's these. Withdrawals are checks. And total deposits outstanding are here, which are B. So if I use that formula we had on the last page, where D equals A plus B minus C, let me write that. Over here, we want to use the formula D equals A plus B minus C. So where is D? Revised statement balance. Well, we want D to equal R. So let me change that to an R. We're hoping D equals R. So let's just call that R. And our revised statement balance is bank account statement is A. Check register balance is here. Check register is yellow. So the check register balance R is 1078 equals, and then A is the statement ending balance, which is 885.84. And I want to add total deposits outstanding, which is B, and there are 2 of them. So I'm going to say plus 575 plus 250. Okay, those are our B's right here. Okay, and then finally, we're going to subtract our outstanding checks, which are in parentheses 195 plus, I'm running out of room here. Let me move this. Okay, so now we're going to add that $437.84 here. So we want 1,078. I almost said 87. That's a transpose error. We will get to that later in the chapter. So PEMDAS says do parentheses first. So I'm just going to follow my order of operations from Math 7, Math 6, way back when. They never go away. So I'm just going to bring all this down and I'm going to subtract the sum of this. So there's 0 cents over here. So it's 4, 8 is not going to change. 7 plus 5 is 12. 4 and 9 is 13. 4, 5, $632.84. Okay, now we're going to subtract that. We don't need parentheses anymore because we took care of that. We did the operation inside the parentheses. And then when you have addition and subtraction, you just work left to right. Okay, just to save time, I'm going to add these up in the calculator. This is not a lesson on arithmetic. So 885.84 plus 575 plus 250 minus 632.84. And I get $1,078. So the answer to this question is, does her checking account balance? Yes, it does. Explain. This basically explains it. The revised statement or the check register balance is equal to the revised statement balance D, which is statement ending balance plus the total deposits outstanding minus the outstanding withdrawals. Okay, example 3 says, Marina and Brian have a joint checking account. They have a balance of $3,839.25 in their check register. Okay, check register balance is right there. So that matches. The balance on the bank statement is $3,450.10. So here's the statement balance. Not reported on the statement are deposits of $2,135.67 and $254.77. Those are right here. No, they're not. Just kidding. $2,135.67 and $254.77. Okay, and 188.76. So yes, all those outstanding deposits. And 4 checks for these 4 amounts, which are listed outstanding checks here. Okay, so here they have line 10 as a total outstanding deposits, and then here is a total outstanding checks. So I'm going to show you in a spreadsheet how this is done. It says reconcile the bank statement using a spreadsheet. I use a spreadsheet for my monthly bills, and I put all income in there and all withdrawals for paying bills. And then at the end of the month, I know how much I spend on utilities, how much I spend on mortgage and taxes and all that stuff. It all gets compiled, and you can do a spreadsheet that can really calculate a lot of things. So over here in this spreadsheet, it's just a Google Sheet. I'm going to click in A2. I'm going to copy what they have over here, and I'm just going to say outstanding deposits. Okay, so notice that it's overlapping my next cell, which is B2. So if I click back in that cell and I go to format, align, and how about I center it for 1, and then format text wrapping like so, then let's see, what am I doing here? Overlap it, format text wrapping, and then wrap not overflow. And then when you have a double arrow like this, when you're on a line in between the A and B column and you double click it, it will automatically size it to the data in the cell. So outstanding fits perfectly. Outstanding. Okay, so the easiest way to format the next cell is to click in this bottom right corner and drag it over, and that copies all of the rules that I used in A2, all the formatting. I just now have to change outstanding deposits to outstanding checks. So if I click up here in this formula bar, then all I just have to change is deposits to checks, and I have my 2 columns. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to format cells 3, A and B, all the way down through 10 as formatting as currency. So I'm going to click this $sign here. So those are now formatted as currency. And now I'm just going to enter the data to match. So in A3, it's $2,000, $135.67. These are the outstanding deposits. 254.77 and 188.76. So those are our outstanding deposits like they show in the textbook. And now I'm going to do the outstanding checks. $567.89 2383, 598.33, and 1000. Okay, so notice that it's all formatted, dollar signs, commas, decimal points, 2 decimal places for money. Okay, so now I want to know the sum of the outstanding deposits. I'm going to put that in right here in 10. Okay, so now I'm going to maximize this. I'm going to get away from our lesson there so I can see everything. And right here is the sigma notation. And if you did chapter 1, then you learn that means the summation. So you click on that, and these are all the formulas. So they just use the sigma notation for all formulas in this. And I want to take the sum. So I'm going to click sum. And now it's asking what I'm adding. So I'm going to add A3 and drag down to A6. Now this says sum of A3 colon A6, which means they're going to add everything up between A3 and A6. And I hit enter, and there's 2,579.20. And if I go back now, let me fix this. It just kind of went away on me. What's this doing? There we go. And I want my spreadsheet back here. So now that matches this. And if I want that same rule, all I've got to do is click in this bottom right corner and drag over, and it's going to do the sum of the next set of columns. So if I click in it, now that says B3 through B6 instead of A3 through A6, because I did not put dollar signs, and that holds a cell. So now I have these values that match, and they put the word total here. So I'll do the same. Okay. And then they skipped on 11, and then 12, they put check, register, balance. Okay, I'm just going to let that overflow. And I'm going to put my data over here. So then I'm down below it, I'm going to put statement, ending balance. And then finally, revised statement balance. Okay, so let me just make B a little wider. Okay, so there we have it. And then down in 16, we're going to write statement is reconciled. Okay, now what I'm going to do in this column here is, well, what is this value? Check register balance. That is right here. So Marina and Brian had a balance of 3839.25. So I'm going to put that here, 3839.25, and hit enter. And I've already formatted these cells. So what I did before I started this video is click there and I hit the dollar sign, and that's that. Statement ending balance was right here. They gave that to us in this problem, 3450.10. So here I'm going to put 3450.10, and then revise statement balance. What I can do is, what is the revised statement balance? It matches 3839.25. But what I want to do is take the statement ending balance, okay, and I want to revise my statement, my check register. So this is going to equal, let me see here. Okay, so let me explain what we're going to do here. We're going to take this value here, which is C13. That's our statement ending balance. We're going to add our deposits and subtract our outstanding checks. So those are the three things we need to see if our revised statement matches our check register. So in order to do that, I would just click in this cell here. And I'm going to take the statement ending balance, which is C13, and I'm going to hit an equal sign. And then when I hit C13, it's just going to say C13. And then in parentheses here, it's going to say 3,450.10. And right now it's thinking I'm going to multiply it by something, but I'm not. Now it's looking for an operation. So I'm going to take C13 and I want to add the outstanding deposit. So I'm going to add A10. So I'm going to hit plus, click on A10. So I'm adding this, and then I want to subtract my outstanding checks. So then I say minus, and my outstanding checks is column or cell B10. And then when I hit enter, this 3,839.25, actually this should be up here. I should have put this formula right here. Whoops, I have to use Control V. Anyhow, there it is, 3,839.25. I want to make sure these two are equal. C12 has to equal C14 in order for me to say this. If they aren't, I would say statement is not reconciled. Okay, so there is an intro to using spreadsheets. Now let's scroll down, check your understanding, and it says write a formula to calculate the sum of the outstanding checks. Okay, so I've already gone over this. What is the formula in the cells? So pause the video, see if you can answer this, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. All I have to do is click on this cell, and if I look up here in the equals right here, my formula is calculating the sum for outstanding checks. Calculating the sum for outstanding checks is this column right here. Okay, so what is that? Well, it's the sum of B3 through B6. So it would be B3 plus B4 plus B5 plus B6. Okay. All right, so I will write that. So it would be, it says right there, that's what you want. You want equals the sum of B3 through B6. Okay, now there's some blanks here. You could actually drag that all the way down and then add more data, but I'm just going to the end of the data that we're given. So here's the answer to this equation.